Oh my God. Happy Wednesday, everybody. We are going to make some pad thai tonight. Not really sure if we're good to go yet or not, but let's just see.
Looks like we're good to go.
Hope everyone is having a good Wednesday so far. I got my big pot of water, so just going to show you what I got going on over here. I'm actually just getting my water up to a boil. I got about 6 liters of water in this pot here. And to that, we're going to add these lovely rice noodles. Can I show those? Oh, I sure can. There we go. And then I have my trusty wok, just a little bit of sesame oil in there. And we're going to turn that on in a few minutes, and we're just going to quickly fry up some egg. And then I'm going to make a beautiful pad thai sauce and chop some beautiful vegetables and add some chicken. And then we'll be ready to eat. So this should be good. Let's just see what I've even got going on here.
We're back to camera one now. Hi, everybody. It's Aaron here. I'm working the multi-camera stream this evening. So feel free to reach out and tell me what your thoughts are. I'm not overly familiar with all of this technology, and it's fly-by solo. So here we go.
These are setups that we always prepare to do when I'm doing a corporate event. Tomorrow night, I actually have a private corporate function, live cooking show. So we have all the equipment set up and figured because it was set up, we might as well test it out and do a Facebook Live tonight. So let's get cooking. What have I got going on even? I have a look around.
I heard something about pad thai.
I know, I'm just trying to check and see what stage I was in. I'm actually going to make the pad thai sauce right now. And in this bowl, I have 1 stalk of finely chopped lemongrass. So nice and super, super fine. That was our cat. Our cat really hates company. And our friend Dave is here to help us navigate some of this equipment. And she is being nasty. So, whoops. So yeah, I would say that's probably about a tablespoon to a tablespoon and a half of finely diced lemongrass. And to that, I'm going to add a couple tablespoons of finely chopped garlic. And then we're going to add just a little bit of ginger. I have my spoon out for the ginger already. Maybe she just needs to go away because she's like a freakazoid. So I'm going to add a couple of tablespoons of ginger. And if you ever have the opportunity, you should try and pick up a little bit of tamarind. Tamarind is really, really tart and tangy, and it gives a beautiful, fresh, citrusy flavor to your pad thai. And a little bit goes a long way, so I'm actually only going to add about a teaspoon. And it's a really thick, pasty kind of thing. Like if you squished up a bunch of dates, tamarind has the same kind of consistency. So about a teaspoon of that. Then we're going to add about a 1/4 cup of fish sauce. This is going to be just the start of all that lovely umami flavor. I'm going to say probably about a 1/4 cup. Oh my God, if anyone can hear our cat right now, she is yelling. It's kind of funny, kind of sad all at the same time. So about a 1/4 cup of fish sauce. Then our salty component, we're going to add a couple tablespoons of soy sauce. I don't know if anyone's super impressed right now, but I'm actually using a spoon and I'm not pouring things into my hand to measure tonight.
Change things up a little.
I know, right? Then we're going to add about a tablespoon of brown sugar. I always choose the brown sugar because it gives a really nice, rich, caramely flavor. You don't want a lot, so like I said, just a tablespoon. Then about a tablespoon of rice wine vinegar, give or take. And for the spice factor, we're gonna add about a tablespoon of chili oil. And I'm gonna say a hefty tablespoon. You can use less if you don't like so spicy, but I like the kick of the spicy chili oil. So now we'll just get that all incorporated. And do a little taste just to see. Rich, salty. Yeah, very nice. Now to that, I'm going to add the zest of 1 lemon. I don't know what I'd do without my rasp. It's my favorite. I love the fine grate that it gives. And it just takes seconds to zest a whole lemon. And it's nice because it doesn't go too far into the pith. It just gets all that nice zesty oil from the top and doesn't go much deeper. Then we're going to add the juice of half a lemon.
I kind of feel like Paul Schaefer here in the old David Letterman show.
I know you look a little bit like David Letterman, right? Or Paul Schaefer on David Letterman. Like you should be spinning some tunes or something.
I have that, but due to proprietary reasons and Facebook, I can't do that.
Yeah, right? No music, no music.
Looks like we have a couple of watchers. I'd love it if somebody could throw some comments in there. Just say hi. Let us know that you're there. That would be terrific. Thank you.
Let us know how the feed looks. Let us know what you're doing this Wednesday. So again, we're just going to give it a little taste. Nice and tangy. And I'm going to add just a titch more of that brown sugar. I just want a little bit more of that rich caramely flavor in there. Maybe another teaspoonful. And then we should be good for that sauce. And we can just leave that set aside for a few minutes from now. Let me just wash up my hands real quick. And earlier, I actually roasted some chicken thighs. And these chicken thighs, I actually just marinated for about half an hour. Marinated them in a mix of herbs and spices, just dried garlic, dried ginger, some sesame seeds, and then roasted them at 375 for about 20 minutes. And now they are ready to go, and we're going to just slice them nice and fine and add them into the pad thai.
I think she looked over at me here because that's usually my job, and I'm a little tied up right now.
Yeah, he's usually my sous chef, so usually he'd be the one that would be slicing my chicken. Darn it, now I have to do that job myself. It's okay, I can handle it. So I feel a little bit like we have crickets right now, and I think maybe that's because Aaron is concentrating so hard on what he's doing that no one is talking. So I feel like I'm like on a lonely island right now. So I'm actually just going to start preparing some fresh vegetables to go into the pad thai. We're just going to slice up some onion. Going to dice that up nice and fine. Just half a white is going to be plenty. So I'm just going to sing myself a little song because apparently I'm just going to talk to myself this evening. What are you doing?
I'm trying to catch up on all the technology here, see who's on or who's watching.
Oh my God, it's killing me because every time I look over, he looks really perplexed. So it's very good.
Trying to catch up. I've got all the screens.
So I think he's feeling a little bit intimidated and nervous because the last time for one of our corporate functions, we actually had our friend David here who is really, really great at managing all the technology and filming and switching cameras. It's kind of his job and he's really good at it. He actually has another gig tomorrow night though, so he actually is not going to be here. So he's here tonight just kind of guiding Aaron through how to work all the different systems on his own. Whoops. I'm going to do some heavy chopping here. So then we're just going to finely slice up some purple cabbage. Now again, this is probably not a super authentic pad thai, but I like it. Still has all the right flavors, just is lacking. There's no peppers in this one. I like the bright, vibrant colors of these vegetables instead. And it's so fun to play with recipes and play with foods and kind of make them your own. Still stick with relatively traditional flavors, but mix it up a little bit. It's good to be fun with your food. We've kind of been on the Eat the Rainbow kick this week too, so. Now, I'm just gonna get a quick glance here. My water's almost at a boil. So I'm going to quickly whip up these eggs because what I want to do with these is just give them a quick scramble in the pan.
That took a minute.
What took a minute?
Oh, I was trying to switch over to camera 3 and
Oh,
yeah, took a minute, but I'm there now.
you know what? This is all just a lovely learning experience. So you know what? Thanks to my faithful followers who put up with all of our crazy antics.
We're just on a learn as you go path. That's how we're making this work.
So again, these are all new little tricks of the trade. Just trying to make it a little bit more dynamic for our corporate events as opposed to just the one singular camera. It's a little bit more dynamic. It makes the Zoom meetings that we do a lot more fun and interactive. So just gonna whip those up. And rice noodles, I don't know if you're familiar with cooking them, but they don't take very long. Want them al dente because we're going to finish frying them in the wok with all of the vegetables and the sauce. So we're just going to pop over here. Now that that water has come to a boil, I'm actually just going to add in the package, whoops, and throw them all over the floor. Add in the package of rice noodles. And then I'm going to give them a quick stir, just to make sure that they loosen up a little bit. There, and now we'll just let those soften up. And while we're doing that, I will start. I'm going to set this wok on about 6, and I'm going to just quickly scramble the egg. Bring this over here.
Thank you for the feedback from everybody, Dorothy and Crystal. I hope more people are watching. I can't tell how many people are watching now. So feel free to reach out and say hi.
Oh, what kind of feedback did you get? You're allowed to share.
I got a looks awesome from Crystal.
Uh-huh.
And Dorothy also says looks good. Crystal also messaged me that the camera switching was very good.
Oh, aren't you a pro now? Look
I'll go
at
with
you
that.
go.
Let's do a wide angle for carrying here. Let's put over there. You're a little far away on this camera, so I think the top down is
I
best.
just have about a tablespoon of sesame oil in the wok, and I'm just going to spread it around just so it covers the bottom nicely. Bring that up to about 6, so
Dave-
that when
Dave
I
says
toss the eggs in, they cook nice and quick.
Dave says he's so hungry.
I know, so hungry. I know, I wish you could come and eat. I so miss feeding people.
Dave says.
Oh, that Dave. God, there's so many Daves in my life, I can't keep them all straight. But yeah, I miss feeding people so badly. Yeah, I've been finding the last couple of weeks of January really tough. I don't know about anybody else, but I miss people. I miss getting together. I miss seeing faces. I miss feeding people food. And yeah, visiting and talking about how everyone's life is going. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to some of these restrictions easing up in the future and maybe getting to venture out and make some contact with other humans.
Other human contact, have some people over for some dinners, which I know a few people have raised their hand as saying they'd love to come, and we love hosting, we love having people by, so I can't wait for that to happen as well.
So I'm just popping back over to the wok, just making sure. I don't want it to get too hot. We will save that for a little bit later. Now I should be able to pour those eggs in there. And we want these to cook nice and evenly before we start to toss them up. The sesame oil is a nice change. I know a lot of pad thai, there's a peanut component. We have a non-nut lover in our household, and sesame oil and sesame seeds pass quite nicely. So we're going to do that instead of the peanuts. So I like to get a little skin on the bottom before I start to stir them. Can see that they get nice and puffy. While we're waiting for those, I'm just going to check on my noodles. So like I said, they don't take very long. I'm always the old school pull one out and test it kind of noodle checker. Okay, so those beauties are done. And I'm not organized enough to get these out here on my own, but we'll see. I'm going to use this nice little scooper, or not, because I don't have enough strength in my wrist to get that out. So we'll do it this way instead.
And the cold water's running because you want to temper the water as it goes down the drain. That's a plumber tip. Not that I'm a plumber, but a plumber told me.
Yeah. Also, the cold water is running because you want to stop the process of cooking in the noodle. And once you pour them out, you want to run cold water over them so they stop cooking. Also helps keep them from sticking too badly together. Rice noodles are very, very sticky, and they will clump together. So just run the cold water over those babies, and then we'll let them drain nicely. There we go. And back to the eggs.
right before omelet is when you start to mix those up, eh?
Yep. Helps them maintain a little bit of fluffiness, I find, if you kind of let them sit. Don't mess with them too much. So those we're going to add back in later. So I'm just going to actually toss them into a bowl. Sorry for all the scraping. I don't know how loud that's coming across, but we'll see.
Seems okay.
So we'll set those aside. And now we're going to add a little bit more sesame oil because we're going to start sauteing some of these vegetables. Another tablespoon will do. Move that off to, oops, got noodles stuck here to the side now. All right. So now I just want to sweat the onions a little bit. So I'm going to add those straight to the pan that we just cooked the eggs in. Should be able to hear those sizzle quite nicely. Find a new utensil to use. So while those are sweating off, I'm going to finish cutting up my vegetables that I'm going to add in the order that I'm going to add them. A lot of these you only want to soften up. You don't want to cook them through because you still want them to have some nice bite and texture. What did I do with my knife? Oh, it's right here. Ah. Okay, so this is just a little bit of baby bok choy that I had on hand. We made ramen yesterday and had some nice fresh bok choy in there. So I just have a couple left. So chop those up nice and fine.
Extra bok choy that was on hand, as everybody has.
Yeah, well, sometimes that's why we go. That's sometimes why you'll notice that there's themes a lot to my cooking. Like all week this week, I've been on an Asian theme because if you have the supplies, there's no sense in letting them go to waste. You might as well use them up. And there's so many different dishes to do. And this, I like a nice fine carrot. So I'm just grabbing the box grater here. I don't know if you can see I'm using the largest side here. And we're just going to shred up some carrots.
Carefully, we only want carrot in there.
No fingers, just carrot. I always hate grating because I always feel like all of my jibbly bits start to jiggle. Oh, it's good that you're looking at the down view because then you can't see my jowls wiggling as I grate the carrot. I know, that's an image that you can't burn out of your head now, isn't it?
There is none of that happening. None of it at all.
And again, most of these vegetables you're just going to want to soften and warm through.
Onions are starting to sweat through nicely.
Get that out of the way. Put that in my sink with all the other dirty things that I use. Again, the box grater kind of sheds a little bit, so we got carrot bits all over the place. So I'm going to try and tidy myself up a little bit here. Okay, let's have a good look at what we got going on with the onion. They are just about good to go. So now I'm going to add in the purple cabbage first. Because they're going to take the longest to soften. those in there and sauteing. And they'll be pretty much as soft as you'll want them when they turn the nice bright purple that you see starting to happen. And I'm just making sure that the rice noodles are loose when I add them to the pan, so they're not going to go in as one thick lump. Want them easy to saute when they're in there. Okay, so now we're going to take that sauce that we made earlier and we're going to add about half of it to the sauteing vegetables. Quickly toss that around, and then we're going to add in those noodles. Give them a quick saute.
I noticed that it's hard to tell how deep that wok is from this angle. I'm going to go back to camera 1 here just to see if you can see how tall it is. There you go.
It's pretty deep. So you wouldn't want to do this in just a regular saute pan. You would run out of room. So again, you just want to saute this together until it's well coated and those vegetables soften up just a little. And the reason that we put the cabbage in first, like I said, is because that's the one that's going to take the longest to soften. Then we add the noodles, give them a quick stir around. And I love the cabbage because it gives such a pretty soft purple color to the noodles. Makes it so pretty. Whoop. So I'm going to turn that up just a little bit. I'm going to come in and add that bok choy and carrot. Oh my God, I'm running out of paper towel, people. This is a bad news.
I'm sure we can find more.
And then again, this is going to be another really pretty, colorful meal. And yeah, when you have the opportunity to eat pretty food, it's so much more enjoyable to eat. Whoops. And you can throw it all over the stove.
Yeah. Especially if you're not the one cleaning it. That's no problem. Oh, that was like intentional.
I thought you were being quite sassy, Aaron, so I figured it was time for me to just toss some of that on the stove.
You did a good job. Very, very
Thank
good
you.
job.
So again, we're just going to leave that for a quick moment. And then we're going to just get ready to actually finish the dish. And to do that, we're going to add some of that chicken from earlier. I usually suggest a slice or a piece of chicken for each person. So we have 4 dining tonight. So I'm going to cut up 4 pieces of chicken. I know I only have 3 there right now, but I'll grab another one.
I'm really enjoying the sound effects this evening.
Oh, you like all my squeaks and
I do.
beeps?
I do a lot.
Yeah, if only people understood that when I cook, I make noises all the time. I try to keep it to a minimum when I'm doing a live, but tonight I'm feeling a little bit lonely, so I'm just going to entertain myself.
It just sounds like there's a minion somewhere around helping out once in a while.
I'll quickly wash off my hands. Ah, my paper towel is definitely not going to last here. Okay, so now we're just going to give that a little toss. And look, I don't know if you can get in there and see, but it's so pretty. The noodles have the most beautiful purple tone to them. So now we're just going to finish by garnishing. Add that chicken right in at the last moment, because again, you just want that to warm through. It's already nice and cooked thoroughly. Oops, I shouldn't have put that in there. I gotta grab another cutting board. Because now I gotta just finely dice up some green onion and a little bit of cilantro. I don't know why Aaron's laughing. It's like a private joke all to himself.
It's not that private for anybody watching. When you close the door with a little bit of force, it's quite reverberating in my ear.
Is it? Whoops. Okay, so I'm gonna have to probably check that maybe.
Oh, we'll just have a little bit more prepared for a couple of cutting boards out on top of each other.
I actually have to say that I'm actually just proud of myself for actually closing the door, because I have a tendency to leave.
What's your right?
Well, I didn't say I closed all of them. I have a tendency to open things and not close them. This includes doors, drawers, cupboards, pretty much anything. I'm always being scolded because for some reason I can't
Scolded
seem
is the
to
wrong word, just so you know.
can't seem to close the garage door.
Ooh, that's a big one. Especially when it's minus 30 out like right now.
Yeah, who says remembering stuff is far too, it's more than it's chalked up to be. Anyway, so a little bit of green onion, a little fresh cilantro. And a nice bunch of fresh Thai basil. And just for an extra little bit of heat, some finely diced red chili.
This puts the 2 chili marks on the menu beside the dish. Some people like it with 1 or 7. 2's a really nice medium.
I have been known to put 7 chilies in my dish. Nobody else in my house likes that, so I won't do it. So now, just garnish the top of this lovely dish with those fresh herbs and that little bit of chili. And then we're going to give it a final toss, and then we are ready to eat, everybody. This is my version of pad thai with beautiful purple noodles and a little bit of chicken. And then we're just going to finish by drizzling a little bit of, oh, I've covered the microphone. Did you notice?
I
Oh, good. Just going to drizzle the top of that with a little bit of fresh sesame oil and some toasted sesame seeds. And then we're going to use the last little bit of that sauce to top. And again, my little sing-song for you. And there we go.
I think if you bring it over the whole walk,
I will.
to camera 2, it would look really good there.
I will. I'll bring it over so everyone can see. So there it is, everybody. My version of pad thai. Oh, if I knew which direction to move, that would be better. With beautiful, soft purple noodles.
Thank you everybody for joining us tonight. Happy Wednesday. Hope all is keeping safe and well. And we can't wait to see you all again.
Love everyone. Good night.